Radius and ulna. First, how do you tell them apart? First, they're relatively short. So they're the same size as your forearm or the end of your arm that attaches into your hand. They look completely different. One, if you look at, it almost looks like it has a U shape. That's perfect because ulna starts with a U. So this is the ulna. This one over here looks like the head of a nail that you can almost hammer in. This is going to be the radius. So radius and ulna. And I included the humerus that we looked at earlier just to kind of show you what I mean. The ulna will fit right into the trochlea. The capitulum will spin kind of on top of the capitulum. So because that head of the nail is rounded, it fits perfectly into the capitulum. And also, if you see me rotate this radius around, why don't you just kind of look at your own arm and see if you turn your hand pronate and supinate, or turn it inside and out, palm down, palm up, which side is doing most of the rotating? And if you look at it, your thumb side is. So the thumb side is the side that the radius is going to be attached to. The pinky side doesn't do a lot of rotating because that trochlea and that U shape of the ulna keeps it in that joint very, very, very tightly. So now let's look at all the different structures. So most of your structures and most of your difficulty on this is going to be this U shape. Because this part right here fits into the trochlea, this is your trochlear notch. This projection of the bone is called a process, and it's called your olecranon process because this goes into the olecranon fossa of your humerus, which if you look right here, it's just that big hole in the back. Then you have an indentation or a process on the front, and that's going to be your coronoid process, which fits into your coronoid fossa on your humerus. And remember, coronoid elbow, coracoid shoulder. So olecranon process, trochlear notch, coronoid process. This is pretty easy. That's the head. Not too many people struggle with what's the head and what's the end. So that's the head of the radius. Then there's a little tuberosity called your radial tuberosity. Not too bad. You also have an ulnar tuberosity, which is going to be that little bump right there. And then the only other structure you'll see is each of these has a little point. And if you feel your wrist right now, you'll also feel those little points on your wrist. And those wrists are called styloid processes because they look like a stylus from a pen. So styloid process of the radius, styloid process of the ulna.